going to do another one of my famous, Keith has no idea what I'm going to ask. Now, well, it's only famous in my mind, but I don't mean any disrespect because the question I'm about to ask, I am a huge fan of this man, but I've heard things. Now, this man plays Yuri Boyka. He played, I don't know his names in other movies, just Yuri Boyka. Man is Scott Adkins, one of the most acrobatic athletes I've ever seen. Now, there are some people that say, oh, he's not a real martial artist. He's a gymnast. So I'm asking you, does Scott Adkins, is he a martial artist?
That's almost a funny question. He is the prototype of the perfect martial artist. He's good looking, talented, built. He can act. Man, that guy is a great actor. You're not going to find any martial artist who has better technique than Scott Adkins. And he combines all of that, his sense of humor, his acting ability, because he doesn't just play, roles where he's the hero. I mean, I've seen him play some wild roles. I first met him, we were teaching a film acting academy, and it was at Storm King in New York, and Michael D. Pasquale is no longer with us, and my good friend Keith Strandberg. We started this acting academy, and we would bring in would-be actors, people that wanted to break into films, and we would teach them how to break into the films. We did it for 12 years, extremely successful. People from all over the world would fly in for a week to spend with us, and we'd have producers and actors and directors and stunt guys like Joe Hess and others, and they would train these people to break into films. Well, one time Scott Adkins came in from England, and I remember Keith Strandberg had brought him in, so Keith and I were there, and we had him get on the floor and then showcase some of his techniques. And I'm telling you, I was totally blown away. I looked at Keith. Now, you have to remember, I'm an actor too, and a martial artist, and I've been in these films. And I looked at Keith and I said, I can't do that. I said, it was almost depressing. I was excited that this guy was so talented, but it's like all of the English actors, Darren Chevalier, Gary Daniels, Scott Adkins, they could do things that I just couldn't do. And, I just looked at him and I went, wow, look at these guys. And Scott, what I liked about him, he just had such a positive personality and attitude. You have to have that. When you're a dick on film or off set, then, sometimes you do make it. There's some guys that have bad attitudes that have been very successful. But I'm telling you, they're not like Chuck Norris. You will not find one person out there who doesn't love Chuck Norris. And I think the same might be held true for Scott Adkins. I've never heard a bad word about him. I've met him personally. I've seen his film. I like the fact that he's so versatile. He just doesn't do kicks and punches. I mean, I've seen him just do some wild ass stuff. I mean, he came out of prison one time, shaved his head. I forgot the name of that movie, but he was a wild person in a bar. And I went, God, this guy is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, and he always plays the Yuri Boyka from the Undisputed movies where he's the most
Right.
complete fighter. I mean, he's got it down pat. He gets bulked up for the movie. Would any of those moves really work? Like, I mean, he does these, instead of doing like one kick, he does a pirouette of four
Yeah.
kicks and finally hits you. He hits you with somehow he hits you with all four of them. I mean, is
No,
that
they do work. No, they're legitimate moves, and if those that can do them, God bless them. I have never even attempted one of those, and I was pretty good at my kicks. I was known as one of the best kickers at the time. Nothing like that. It's a whole new, type of fighters that came up. Tony Jaa came up, and he had a whole different style of fighting, elbows and knees. Scott Adkins, all the multiple stuff they could do with Gary Daniels, and there was a group of them that just were just incredible. But no, the great question. I really like Scott Adkins, and I wish him the best.